Okay, next up we have DC Collier.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking today about something called GAChat, which is a framework for doing graphical chat applications. So what are those exactly? If we look at the evolution of the UI on the web, we've gone from clicking links to typing in keywords to talking with Slack bots in basic sentences. And now the next generation is what I call these conversational UIs, where you have chat, graphs, images, all kinds of things mixed up in a stream together. And I think Meteor is absolutely perfect for creating these kind of applications. But they're actually quite complicated to build. So my company has been building an app called Comic English, which is like an English language learning application. And so I'm going to run through a little bit of the demo of that app and then show you some of the framework that we've developed for it. I'm having problems with these glitchy windows here today, so let's try again. Comic English is like a kind of a chat game where you're trying to talk to different characters, and you play a detective, and you're solving mysteries about things that happened. And it's for learning English. So if you don't know any of these words, you can just click on research and get like Kenkyu. And as you continue through this game, you use these different kind of sentence builders to talk to the characters. So this chairman of the board is a rather shifty character who is asking you to help him find out who actually leaked the research in his company. And so basically, he's hired you to find that out. And after you go into the boardroom, you can talk to different characters. You can search for clues. And as you're doing that, you're using all of these different types of widgets to actually build up sentences. So let's just, let me jump back and explain a little bit about how some of these widgets are actually built. And so for example, one widget that I showed there is the choice widget. And what we're aiming to do is this kind of scalable UI so that in a text client, like for example Slack, you would see a question with a couple of choices, and then you could maybe type the answer. You could maybe just type in red pill. But if you have a graphical client, so if I come back here and I go back to the demo menu, if we have a graphical client like this one here, you can just tap the red pill button. And I'll just move that over a little bit. You could just tap the red pill button, and then it would actually give you the full sentence back to the user. So some other examples of widgets that we've got are a slider. So for example, if you have a numerical input in here in the widget, someone can drag across and say, you know, how much awesome, 84%, and that will send it back. And it actually loops back into the chat environment. So for example, we've got a scoreboard here that's highlighting that number. And at the same time, it's also showing you've got task complete. So that actually leads through to another thing that we have in a lot of games is this idea of a task system. And you'll see there's like a little progress bar here at the top that's monitoring how far you are and how many tasks you've actually completed in that chat as well. So there are various different types of widgets and components that we've got in here. YouTube, obviously, audio, video, questions and answers. You can do quizzes in here. We're tracking player state. And additionally, we actually also have a few levels of natural language processing going in here. So if I go into, actually, I think if I just go into the pets demo, oops. Then we're talking to a character. It's like, do you prefer dogs or cats? And if I say I prefer, I don't know, snakes, some weird thing, we're actually using an external natural language processing system to figure out what the user said. And then on top of that, if the user says something that we really just don't know what they're actually saying, we are also able to jump in and have a human actually monitoring the conversation. So I have a little pop-up over here where I can masquerade as the guide, and she can say like snakes, or she could, for example, shout it. And so basically it's this kind of blended experience between artificial intelligence and graphical chat and various natural language tools that we've got here. We're also working on a browser-based authoring tool to make a lot of these things a lot easier to author. And Meteor has this problem that it's basically a browser-based client, but in fact that means that you can get distribution inside things like WeChat or Line or all of these kind of messaging platforms, which are 6 of the top 10 apps on smartphones are messaging clients. So right now this project is not quite open source, but I'd love to collaborate with some other people, so please send me mail at dc@rickeye.co, and we will take it to the next level. 5 minutes, thank you. Oh, one other small plug. We're doing sometimes do a Meteor mini meetup in San Francisco. If a few more people want to join, we'll do another one. There's not one scheduled right now. Thank you. Is that it?
Any questions?
Hey.
I was just curious, you said you're using an API for natural language processing.
Yeah, right now we're using wit.ai, which is Facebook's thing. I've also looked at what's API.ai, and there's a great project called Superscript.js, which is kind of includes all kinds of other, WordNet and ConceptNet and other kind of projects altogether. But basically, the important thing is there's these multiple levels from a very simple parsing language. I think a lot of natural language processing is good at actually analyzing your content, but the script language is good at creating interesting responses to it. I mean, once you've broken it down to, like our syntax there was, nouns and verbs and words and things like that. Actually, I haven't got the editor open here. But the important thing is then how do you do something interesting with that to actually give it back to the user? And that's where the scripting language comes in that allows you to create something interesting as a result.
I saw the phrase visual chat markup on one of the slides. Do the participants have the ability to draw or sketch or somehow manipulate the visuals?
So the question is, it's a graphical chat framework is how I'm positioning it. The users can either, it depends on the client they've got. If they've just got a text client, they can just type. If they have a chat client, if they have a richer client, like an HTML browser or something, they can just click on visual controls. It's kind of like, Slack is DOS, and this is like Windows or something like that. It's a graphical chat client with a bunch of widgets and a quick way to build applications that are like chat applications, like the next generation of mobile apps are going to be. I mean, Siri is kind of voice, but this is more like graphical, like if you're on a train and you can't talk and you want to push buttons. Great.
All right, thank you so much.
So please get in touch and let's work together on it. Thank you.